Hi everyone, I'm Maggie Lang. In this presentation, you will learn how to give feedback. You will also be able to identify the importance of feedback and consider why it is difficult to give and to receive. 4 different types of feedback will be discussed, as well as several models that are used to give feedback. Why is feedback so important for students? Feedback is essential in teaching and learning. It is the important link that helps students make sense of what they have learned. Feedback is information that students receive as a result of an assessment of an action by the student. Each learning experience that the student has can be impacted by the feedback from their instructors. Feedback can be difficult to give because students may only hear the negative comments involved. Feedback should be constructive rather than destructive, as students are to learn from and be empowered by the assessment process. Feedback should not be vague, such as great job, excellent paper, but it should emphasize the task that was completed, such as the strengths of the actual assignment. When students are provided with clear feedback, there is an increased likelihood of self-regulation of learning, which in turn has an impact on the transference of learning from theory to practice. There are several characteristics of effective feedback, and there are many types of models to give feedback. But effective feedback should be specific, accurate, objective, timely, usable by the student, and looked for by the student. There are several types of feedback: formal feedback, informal feedback, positive or reinforcing feedback, and constructive feedback. Formal feedback is planned, structured feedback, usually in written form, that is given by a teacher or peer for a specific purpose, usually as a performance review or clinical assessment. Informal feedback is provided consistently to students and can be given on any aspect of performance, usually in a verbal form. It can also be used to coach students and provide constructive and positive feedback to move students in a particular direction to improve learning outcomes. Positive or reinforcing feedback motivates students and encourages them to continue doing their jobs well. It recognizes a specific action or behavior, and it is most effective when you give it as soon as possible after the student's good work occurs. Constructive feedback should provide an unbiased critique of a performance, recounting events as they occurred with the intention to correct errors and increase understanding. If provided correctly, it can increase students' motivation. How can you give effective feedback as an educator? You can plan in advance, you can give feedback promptly, you can give one-to-one feedback instead of in front of other people. You should be specific, encourage self-reflection, be aware of the receiver's nonverbal cues to your feedback. There are several models you can use to give effective feedback. The feedback sandwich begins with positive feedback, then introduces the constructive feedback, then closes with the specific feedback that builds the learner's trust and comfort. The Pendleton model of feedback uses open-ended questions to give the learner opportunities to think and reflect on learning. What went well, highlight the positives so the learner can see the areas they need to improve. The chronological fashion feedback model focuses on learning events in the order that they occurred and reflecting on those events back to the learner. It can be used for short feedback sessions. Simon has given me more clarity when I'm forming feedback. It has helped me to see that feedback should be positive, timely, learner-centered, specific, and help the learner to reflect on learning to increase their motivation and meet the objectives of the learning assignment. I'm looking forward to using these new techniques as an educator to assist my students to be better learners.